All right, should be working by now. I'm very excited right now because I was just outside cooking some bread, which I'm usually doing during these lives. And I saw a banana dongler. I have a brand new banana dongler. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what a banana dongler is, okay, banana trees, they grow, they get real big, and then at some point, this giant red flower, like a giant red flower, pops out, and it's just this giant dongler, and then all the bananas grow off that. So once you get the banana dongler, that means you're getting bananas pretty soon. And I already have one giant thing of bananas on that group of banana trees. That's, I don't know, they'll be ready any day now. I could probably cut them off right now, actually. I'm not going to do it in the dark. Probably get them tomorrow. But yeah, so I've got one huge thing of bananas ready to go. And another one, the banana dongler came out, which is very exciting. Hello, Mr. Landville. What's going on, man? Hold on, let me just tie up my shorts a little. As usual, I've been rushing around. I just kayaked, a bunch of kayaking and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I did think of something to talk about today. I did say dongler, you're right. What did I write down here? Oh, I was going to talk about introspection. Earlier today when I was doing something, working on the floor or something, where I didn't need too much brain, I thought about some good things to say. Of course, now I've completely forgotten them, but I was going to talk about introspection. So, yeah, I didn't really write down any notes here, did I? So anyway, about introspection. It's like one of those really super important things. You know, introspection is like looking at yourself, viewing yourself, which can be difficult. It's a lot easier to see what other people are doing wrong. Like it's super easy to be like, this person's dumb for this, that person's dumb for that, that person's dumb for that, they're screwing that up, that's, you know. But it can be a lot harder to notice your own failings when you're too busy doing the thing that you shouldn't be doing, you know? And this kind of brings up the difference between intelligence and wisdom. And as far as I can tell, with my definitions anyway, intelligence addresses how to do something. Wisdom addresses whether or not you should do it. So kind of like why you're doing something. Like, is that a good thing to do or a bad thing to do? What are the reasons you're doing that? So in our society today, there's so much emphasis on intelligence and capabilities and being able to do things. And there's very little emphasis on wisdom, but it's super important. Usually wisdom is relegated to being brushed off with a phrase like, nah, why not? Why wouldn't I do it? Nah, whatever. There's no law that says I can't, blah, blah, blah. Like wisdom often just gets blown off. It's like, whatever, who cares? I can do it. Why wouldn't I? But that's a really important question to actually answer. Like, why wouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? Is this really something I should or shouldn't be doing? Well, that's a whole big part of introspection that can be difficult, because when you're using your intelligence to figure something out, often you don't have enough brain left over to have the wisdom to figure out whether or not you should be doing something. So I have a challenge for everyone. And you know, whenever I talk about this stuff, it's always things I'm thinking about and doing myself too. So here's my challenge to everyone, including myself. Go ahead and be critical of people. Be super critical of people. When you see people screwing up or doing dumb things or whatever, think, that person is doing the wrong thing. You know what they should be doing. But every time you do that, look at yourself and see what you're doing that's like that. And, you know, there's I don't know, you wouldn't really call it a saying. Jordan Peterson has mentioned this many times, that most people, if they were in Nazi Germany, would be Nazis. It's because they don't really look at themselves. They can see the errors in other people and other situations, but then they don't really look at themselves. So when I think about a situation like that, it's like, okay, if I was in Nazi Germany, there's a very good chance I would have been a Nazi, which means the only way I would not be a Nazi is if in my current circumstances, I'm resisting whatever I need to resist. So look at your own life. What are the things that you are going along with that you really shouldn't be? But everyone's doing it, so whatever. And there's all this pressure, maybe legal pressure, social pressure, all this peer pressure to do certain things that you really deep down you know are wrong. But it's been buried by so much pressure and acceptance. It's just, oh, we'll just ignore that. It's fine. We can do it. How much of that stuff have you buried that you're just like ignoring and doing the wrong thing when deep down you know you're doing the wrong thing? And anyway, I'm going to give you, before I shut up here and start reading some comments, I'm going to give you one example of a time that I saw someone else doing something stupid. And then I looked at myself and applied that information to myself. I don't even know if this is the best example. Well, this is the one that comes to mind. I'm sure if I think about it, I'll come up with all kinds of other ones. But okay, here's the example that comes to mind. Many years ago, okay, it wasn't that many years ago, a few years ago. Actually, it might have been like 1 or 2 years ago. Okay, like a year or two ago. This dude came to visit for a few weeks. And, I was hanging out with him a lot. And at one point, we were driving pedal boats together. I was driving my pedal boat, and he was driving another pedal boat that was also mine. He was borrowing it because he's visiting. And we were driving somewhere, and we went through this channel. Now, the pedal boats are like 8 feet wide, and this channel is like 11, 12 feet wide. So plenty of space to get through, right? So on each side of the boat, there's like about that much space. Plenty of space to not hit the shore. Both sides have that much space, right? So I start going through the channel. I glance back. All right, he's right behind me, no problem. So I drive through the channel at a leisurely pace, and the channel kind of curves a little. And I figure he's right behind me. He's following me, right? But I get to the end of the channel, and I glance back, and I don't see him. He's not there. So I stop pedaling. I just kind of coast out of the other end of the channel. And I'm floating in the water. A few minutes go by, and I'm like, hey, man, how's it going back there? And he yells back, oh, God damn it, son of a... And I'm like, do you need some help? No, I got it. Stupid. And he's struggling. Something is up. But he's like, I don't need help. So I'm just like, all right. So another 5 minutes goes by, and I'm like, just checking you all right. Yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to take. So let me just jump in the water and clean off the bottom of the boat, stand on the front of the boat and take a leak and, twiddle my thumbs for a bit. And then like 20 minutes later, he comes out of the channel all like, and I'm like, oh, you made it. He's like, yeah, damn boat. Damn boat. It was doing all this stuff, and it wouldn't do what I wanted, and it was just doing this stuff, and it went sideways and got stuck, and the boat did all this stuff, and it got stuck, and blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting there thinking, dude, I didn't say anything because he was very worked up. He was not prepared to hear anything. But I was just thinking, so you're blaming the inanimate object for making decisions that you didn't like and for doing things that you didn't like. And I found that to be pretty darn ridiculous. And it is. Now, I could have stopped there with my brain process, but because I tried to be introspective, I then thought, all right, when am I doing this? So I put a little note in my head, and I have this little note in my head like kind of all the time. It's just like a little thing that goes off in certain circumstances. Like if I'm walking through the jungle and I trip on a root and go, stupid root. And I'm like, bling, bling, bling. No, it's not stupid root. It's stupid me. Not controlling my stupid feet. No, bling, bling, bling. It's not my stupid feet. It's my stupid brain not controlling my feet. The root's been there for like months, years. I don't know. It's my fault. Or like I mean, that kind of thing happens all the time. Stub my toe on something, or I'm mixing something up in like some food and it spills over the side. Oh, stupid bowl. No, it was stupid me. Stupid me. I'm the one doing the things. I'm the one in control of it. It's my fault. I have to improve. Because if you just blame everything around you all the time, you never improve yourself. It's all their fault. No, you gotta say it's my fault so that I can improve. So that's one example of why introspection is so valuable. Because otherwise I would trip on that root every damn time I walked by it, and every time I'd say, oh, it's that root's fault. It keeps tripping me. Or that doorknob that's in the wrong spot, and every time I go to grab it and I miss and hit my face on the door. It's really easy to get stuck in those kind of stupid circumstances, blaming an inanimate object for doing things you don't like. So anyway, all right, did I have anything else I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I didn't really write anything else on that paper. Oh, just on another note, I have been having so much fun building these stupid wind-up fans. I've only built 2 versions so far, but the first version blew for 2 minutes, and the second version, the spring I used on the second one doesn't wind up nearly as much. It only does 12 winds instead of 20. The first one you could wind to 20. However, due to improvements, it still goes for a longer period of time. It'll blow for 3 minutes. So yeah, even with an inferior spring, I'm getting better results. And I've already drawn a third version in the computer. It's all CAD'd out, and I started 3D printing the parts, which will take a few days because I don't print at night because I don't have electricity at night. I don't want to kill the batteries. Anyway, I found a source for springs because on my first wind-up fan, I used like a seat bolt return spring that I got years ago from a factory guy in China when I was working there doing stuff, blah, blah, blah. He gave me 3 springs because I was like, I think I might want to do some experiments with wind-up things. He's like, yeah, here's some springs. And I've just had them for years. So anyway, I used 2 of those so far. But then I was like, I really want to get a bigger spring. And I had a broken tape measure, and I was like, wait a minute. Tape measure, you pull it out, it sucks back. There's probably a pretty nice spring in there recoiling the whole thing. So I popped one open. It was a still barely functional tape measure. The tape was starting to rust and break and everything. But the return, it definitely returned good. So I popped it open. Sure enough, it's got a really nice spring in there. It's really easy to get into those too, to get them apart, at least the 2 that I took apart. The first one I took apart was just all rusted and broken. It was like a really broken tape measure, but the second one was still functional, just the tape was rusting out. Anyway, really nice spring inside. So I designed my third wind-up fan with that spring. So I have great optimism about this. I've also, tweaked the propeller, and I've done a bunch of other little things and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, yeah, what are you guys talking about today? Let's see. Mr. Landfill, you've got to be the most amazing moderator ever. I just gotta say that. Let me turn my brightness up because I always have it dark. You said Dongler. Yes, I did. Klondike, good evening. Yeah, what's up? Oh, you know what? Since I'm cooking bread right now, I left it on a little fire. I think it's fine. Let me just go check it. It might be done. I might want to bring it in. Oh, that's totally good. See, if I don't go get it right now, it's steaming. I don't know if you can see the steam. I did burn it a tiny bit because I was like, I'm supposed to be going to do a live, so I got the fire too hot, and it's okay though. It's just a little singe there. Anyway, I make bread almost every day. It's coconut sourdough bread, and I always make the dough in the morning, and then I usually cook it for dinner. Like if I'm making pizza, I'll obviously use it for that. Or I'll just make the bread while I'm cooking. But sometimes, I'll cook it at the end of dinner thinking I'll use it for the next day. And if I don't bring it in, like before it gets dark, I'll often just forget it's there. And then like in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and be like, oh yeah, I got bread outside. And then I'll go get it. Or sometimes I won't even go get it till the morning. And a few days ago, I did that. I left it out all night and it rained. So the bottom of the bread was mildly soggy. It did have a lid, but it's not like some water gets in. Anyway, I got my bread in. Very exciting stuff. I should probably move it because it's steaming my tablet here. I don't need a steamy tablet. Steamy tablet. What am I talking about? Okay, Captain Skellebones. I'm watching this from my laptop in the back of my minivan. It has 4 solar panels bolted together on the roof. Nice. I just installed an air conditioner on it. It has 4 100 amp hour, 12, I think that's 12 volt batteries is supposed to say. Nice, man. Air conditioning. Yeah. I do consider sometimes getting air conditioning. What I've been thinking about is, I want to build this guest house. I don't know when I'm actually going to do it because I started working on the second floor because someone last week asked me, what's your next big project? And so I was thinking about it at the beginning of this week. And I just kind of came to the conclusion that maybe I need to wrap up some of the outstanding things, tie up some loose ends, finish the second floor, finish the roof tiles, which were just on hold for like the last year, partly because the roof really doesn't leak that much. So, whatever. But I kind of want to get a couple of things finished. But when I build a guest house, I'm thinking about like really, really well insulating it and putting air conditioning in it. And then, I wouldn't leave the air conditioning in there all the time when guests come because they'll destroy the electric system. But maybe once in a while, just put the air conditioning in there and just freeze it up, and just hang out in there with my kids playing video games or something. I don't know, like on a hot day. See, the best thing about air conditioning is you need it most on days when it's really sunny. So it goes really well with solar power. Anyway, I think I have to move this a little. It's on something not. Hold on. Okay, that's better. Let's see. Yep, matches my thoughts on intelligence, wisdom. Yes. Subzone pen. Wisdom often comes from experience. That's a huge thing, actually. So like we get taught in school how to do things. We get taught all this intelligence, but we don't really, there's not much emphasis on wisdom. At least in North America, public schools, there's like no emphasis on wisdom at all. It's all intelligence. I'll figure out how to do things. Don't worry about whether or not you should be. And the guy who got the boat stuck, he was very academic and had very little real life experience, which I think was one of the difficulties he was having. TMFB. Well, I can't say that out loud. Oh, is that what it is? TMFB? Okay. Hey, Jaimie, I love your adventure builder stuff. You great man, for real. Well, thank you very much. Rip O.J. Simpson. Is that RIP, rest in peace? Did O.J. Simpson die? I don't know anything about that. Good point. Learn your mistakes from other people's mistakes. Yeah, I'm often hearing people say, don't judge others, don't be critical of others. But I think it's actually really useful to be critical of others if you do it for the right reason in the right way. You don't want to be critical of others just to crap on people. But it is definitely easier to see mistakes from the outside, so you can see someone else making mistakes more easily than you can see yourself. Because the person doing the thing, like I was saying, their brain is on the thing. Anyway, it's called stubborn. One way, closed-minded. Yeah, stubbornness. Although stubbornness can also work to your benefit if you use that the right way too. Josh Botian says intelligence is capability, wisdom is remembering past experiences and being able to apply what you learn from them. Yeah, not being a Subzone Pen says not being a Nazi was certainly much more difficult than being a Nazi. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like it's difficult to go against the society around you, and I can tell you from experience, it's even harder than I was originally imagining it would be. It's really difficult to go against the grain consistently. If you do it once in a while here and there, it blows over, whatever. But if you have a lifestyle that goes against the grain, it is a challenge, like all the time. I resist spending half my income on rent. That is good. Don't do that. I've been way too depressed to comment. I'm sorry, Eric. No problem, man. If you're feeling down, you don't have to do anything for us, but I wish you the best. And I know I've talked about depression in the past before. I think last week I was talking about this despair that hit me for a couple days. Yeah, don't shy away from depression too much. Don't be too afraid to go through it. Of course, I don't know what your situation is, or I don't know your circumstances or what you're dealing with. So I can really only speak for myself. But for me, I've always found that I get through the depression much better if I don't try to get away from it. If I'm just like, all right, depression, here we go. We're just going to be depressed and see what the consequences of this are and see what it does. And what it often ends up doing is I get lower and lower and lower, and I get to a certain point where I'm just like, I don't even care if I live or die. And at that point, I'm reminded of a really important thing. I don't even remember where I first thought of this, or maybe I didn't think of it. Maybe someone put this idea in my head. I don't know where it came from. But whenever I get to that really low point, which thankfully doesn't happen that often, I always think, wait a minute. If I am ready to die right now, I got nothing to lose. And it's just like all the shackles are gone. All this resistance is gone. All these fears, concerns, it's just like, whatever. I can risk now. I don't have to worry about offending anyone or whatever. Like, I can do what I think is right and just do whatever. Sometimes it might be some extreme thing that usually it's something that's going to make people angry. I know it's going to make people angry, but I can do it because what? I don't care. I'm ready to die right now anyway. So that's the really, at least from my perspective, that's one of the really valuable things about depression is it gives you this capability to make changes. So that's why whenever I start getting depressed, I try not to. I mean, maybe if I get a little depressed, I'm like, all right, cheer up. But if I'm getting that real depression, I just go with it and like ride it down to the bottom, so I can get to the point where nothing matters, and I can take risks, and I can put aside all the stuff that's not important, and just once you got nothing left to lose, you can risk anything to make your life better. I personally think that's kind of the point of depression. It's not something you're just supposed to avoid at all costs and take drugs and whatever. I think it really is like an evolutionarily useful built-in thing that we now have to kind of force you to make changes that you need to make, that maybe you've been reluctant to make, or maybe you're really difficult, or maybe there's a lot of resistance or whatever, I don't know if that helps at all, but I do know what it's like to go through a depressing time. I know it can be brutal, but keep fighting, man. I'm going through a lot of legal issues. Oh God, I have a daughter and I haven't been able to see her. Oh God, that is the worst. Man, Eric, you're in my. I'm sending you good wishes, and I've been in a situation. I don't even like to think about it now, but I've been there, man. And that is brutal. I hope you get through it. Anyway, the MFB says, anyway, I'll shut up and I'll shut up. Have a good day. Very good, very good. I hope you have a good day too. Northern Island boy, I'm dealing with a wisdom intelligence issue right now. My wife of 10 years suggested an open marriage situation. Oh, my intelligence told me it was a bad idea and it would ruin us. I think maybe your wisdom would tell you that's a bad idea too. I don't know. I obviously don't know what the circumstances are or the, whatever, but yeah, yeah, there's a, it's like a bag of spiders. What a bag of spiders. That's what it is. No, I hope you get through that situation well too. But when you're with someone and they have just become unsatisfied and are determined to do something about it, man, that can be a really rough situation. And the way our society is today, it's so frustrating with this kind of stuff because so many people are so unsatisfied when they have it really good. And they have no, it's that say, you don't know how good it is till you lose it. You don't know how good you have it till it's gone, Of course, I don't know the circumstances in this particular situation, but that's something that I've experienced and I've seen a lot is where there's a relationship and someone is just unsatisfied. And they're like, this is not acceptable and I need better. And like I could think of several girlfriends who it would usually happen like right at the beginning, like kind of when we're just starting to date. And I'd be with this girl and I'm thinking of one particular. She was like, oh, I don't want to get too serious, and I'm just like, all right, I'll let this go for a day or two, a couple days. And anyway, she goes on like holidays or Christmas holidays and comes back and she's like, now I'm ready to be serious. And I'm like, how was your ex-boyfriend? And she just turns beet red. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you just threw away what you had with me. Oh, no, I want this. And it's like, no, you didn't want it. You were in a situation with me. You were unsatisfied enough to go do something with some other guy. So this is done. And it's like, whatever. And like, what a mess our society is in right now. Eric says, brother, I feel that's one of the reasons why things work out the way they did. Oh my goodness, Northern Ireland boy, God bless you, man. Man, prayers. Oh, God bless you, man. Prayers. Yeah, man, some people are going through some serious stuff. Okay, this is the guy whose wife said the thing. My wisdom told me that it was obviously something she wanted and needed in order to feel fulfilled in not only our relationship, but her own space as well. Maybe. I don't want to, obviously I don't know what the situation here is, but one of the things that I've learned in dealing with women in my life is that there are a lot of women today, and I totally 100% blame feminism for this. And we're not going to get into how that all started and the horrible propaganda machine that's pumping that into people's heads. But a lot of women today are just unsatisfied with everything. And it doesn't matter what they get. Like there's just a generalized dissatisfaction. Like that's kind of like, it's almost like the feminist motto is like, be unsatisfied. Doesn't matter what's happening, doesn't matter what you're getting. You are the victim. You should be getting more. You deserve more. You should get more. Whatever you have is not enough. You always need more. And that's just a crazy message. And once someone gets that into their head, they cannot ever be satisfied. It doesn't matter what happens outside. In here, they will not be satisfied no matter what. Of course, I don't know your situation, but I've had that particular situation. I've seen that a lot where people are just, and I'm sure it's not only women. I'm sure there are guys that are like this too. Actually, yeah, I totally know guys who are like this, who are totally unsatisfied with everything. So I don't know. Yeah. Oh man, I hope you guys get through these messes. God, like why? It's like when the families are falling apart, a civilization cannot thrive. Like, because the children are not getting everything they need. And it's so frustrating that all this divorce and conflict and constant fighting has become such a normal thing in our society. It really drives me nuts. And, I've been trying to meet someone for a while. And I've just, recently I've just been like, just forget it for a while. I got other stuff to do. I don't need to deal with crazy women for a while. But it's like every woman I talk to, it's like it's not that they don't want to be in a relationship. It's just that they're not capable of being in a relationship. Like, they don't even know what that means. They don't even understand the concept. And I'm saying women because that's who I experience. I'm sure there are women have the same problem with a lot of men. But it's like the women I talk to, they don't see a relationship as a cooperation. They see it as a conflict. When two people are in a relationship, you're trying to get as much as you can from the other person, which is completely insane. And I would actually compare that to the idea that, if you were in Nazi Germany, you would be a Nazi. Well, if you were in our society now, chances are you would be a greedy, self-centered, just constant conflict person in relationships. I don't know whether I'm sure there's a name for this, but it's just become such a normal thing, and it's a terrible thing. Yeah, everyone grows differently. It sucks when you and someone you love don't work out right. I say it's evil. I say these things are evil because love is pure. It's definitely a test. And one of the problems is when people are being self-centered, they can be married for 10 years and not grow together. They grow apart. But that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not the world does not work that way. Like a civilization, it falls apart when relationships are self-centered. Because when two people get together, and it could be more people, whatever. When there's a relationship like that, and you're spending all that time with that person, you need to grow closer, not farther apart over time. And it has to be the goal of both people to grow closer together. Otherwise, what's the point of even having the relationship, But that's just become the normal thing. I fight with you, you fight with me. I try to take as much as I can. You try to take as much as you can. It's completely insane. Introspection is also being able to say, I'm sorry. That is totally true. But only when you've done something for which you should apologize. You should not ever apologize when you've not done something, because that often causes more problems. Northern Ireland boy has 2 children too. Man. Okay, Eric says, the person you fall in love with may not be ready to be in love with someone, and it takes some time. Sometimes they find security in a prison, and even though they're happy, they don't grow. Dating in 2024 is a joke. That is true. The MFB. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna leave it as what my brain says. The TMFB. The MFB. The mother. Yeah, dating in 24 is totally a joke. It's ridiculous. But I'm kind of thinking that the pendulum has got to start swinging back the other way. I think, and just get more reasonable at some point, because it's just totally dumb and insane. Yeah. Of course. Whatever. Eric says, yeah, my daughter's 3 and I'm almost 50. I waited for a long time to have a kid. It was something I didn't think I could even do because I waited so long. I'm almost 50. I'd love to have more kids. Although that's one of the things I think about with when I exercise and eat well and everything. I always, always trying to make sure I stay healthy for a long time. Open marriage sounds pretty wild, or Kama says. Yeah. Personally, I would not consider an open marriage. That would just be a complete no for me. Yeah, I would just absolutely no. Because once, like, I would even consider a more than 2-person marriage. Fine. If it works, fine. But an open marriage, the problem is you constantly have the threat of bringing in something bad. And that could be STDs, like just, oh, we got herpes now. Because I fooled around with some, just a person just for fun, because it was an open marriage and I could just bounce around from person to person. And yeah, I brought some herpes home. Oh, then I got some AIDS. Yeah, sorry, we're screwed now. Or just like getting involved with like a psycho person who then becomes part of your life. Like there's so many reasons to not have an open marriage, just because it opens the doors to some really bad stuff. And like for what? For some fun? For some short-term fun here and there. Oh, go have some one-night stands, maybe a little fling here or there for a few months or whatever. It doesn't. I don't like it. The whole hookup culture thing, it doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. Oh, and yeah, like what if you get someone pregnant and it's not someone that you could actually have a child with? One of my long-standing rules for getting involved with a woman is that I will not get too involved with a woman that I could not have a child with. In the event of some pregnancy, I'm only getting involved with a woman who I could actually have the baby with and raise them together, which, eliminates most women and eliminates like one-night stands. None of that makes any sense to me. It's just like the risk reward does not what's the word, add up. It's just not worth it. There's too high risk, not enough reward. And that's one of the big points of getting in a committed relationship with someone is you lower the risk. You lower so many risks. You lower the risks of dealing with unknown people, bringing unknown people into your life. You lower the risks of getting STDs. You lower all these risks by dealing with one person and getting to know them. And then you increase the rewards because, presumably at least, I know this doesn't happen anymore, but like presumably, you're going to care about this person, which is going to just amplify all of the time you spend with them. The more you trust that person, the more you care about that person, the closer you get, the better your time is with that person. Like a committed relationship reduces the risk, increases the rewards. Theoretically, it should, but like TM the MFB said. Yeah, dating in 2024 is a joke. Yeah, it's been screwed up for a while. Good luck, buddy. Yeah, Eric says dating in 2024 or 2000. Wait, dating in 2004. Did someone typo that? Yeah, they fixed it 2024. You're right. This whole fans only thing and all these dating apps are garbage. Yeah, totally. Well, the dating apps aren't even meant to connect people. They're meant to make money, and they make money by not connecting people and trying to keep them on the, coming back all the time. If the dating apps actually worked, they would make less money. And since money is the benchmark for everything, yeah. Captain Skellabone says, yes, I am hot, wealthy, tall, handsome, and I still just don't even try it. Yeah. It's a cold world we live in. Northern Island Boy says, we have had many intense conversations about it and have come to the realization that we both love each other and have no desire to spend our lives with anyone else. Man, that sounds like a really good reason to figure out what you need to do. However, we both have needs that the other can't necessarily feel. Frustrating. Yeah, it would be really good if you could figure that out, though. But yeah, I don't know. Good luck. I hope you figure it out in some positive way. One thing I would keep in mind here is, that sounds like a really impossible situation. And one thing I've learned about impossible situations is that often there is some good solution. It's just not always obvious. It's sometimes hard to find. Sometimes you got to think out of the box, or it'll just be like maybe there's some piece of information that just comes along and it's like, oh, now that I know that, it's not that hard to figure out. It's a lot of times impossible situations have a good answer. You just got to keep looking for it, Anyway, Captain Skellabone says, I'm going to put a hand washing sink in the back of my van next. That sounds excellent, man. You can wash more than your hands with those, I hear. Beauty. Haha, okay, this is Eric. I had money at one time, my own house, and I had an income that always was consistent. This was, I think that was 2005. And I couldn't trust anyone to let them in to get close enough for a relationship. Yeah, I see why. Because, like, man, you get in a relationship today, it's just like, like, what is the fastest way to destroy yourself? Which is really frustrating and unfortunate because it's not how it should be at all. Subzone Pen says, how about incorporating a flywheel with your wind-up fan? Well, the problem with a flywheel with the wind-up fan is I might as well just do one or the other. I actually thought about doing a flywheel thing where it's like, you have like a, what's it, like a rack, a thing with all these gear teeth, and you stick it in and it spins it up and gets the propeller going, and then goes for, I don't know, however long, depending on the propeller and the weight and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it really makes sense to power that with a wind-up thing, because then I'm putting energy into the spring that's just going to put it into the flywheel, and the more times the energy is transferred, the more friction there is, the more losses there are. I feel like one or the other would actually be better. Plus, I mean, if I'm gonna wind up a flywheel, it's gonna take longer to crank up the spring and get that going. Like, I might as well just get a thing, get that flywheel going in a second, Real relationships can handle intense conversations. That's true. When you get in a real relationship, yeah, you can handle all kinds of things. One of the really important things about, I'm just going to use your terminology here, a real relationship. One of the super important things about a real relationship is that the other person's going to stick around. So you can have an intense conversation. You can have a disagreement. You can like deal with the difficult things and figure them out because you trust the other person to not just run off. I was saying something about this last week or the week before, where I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with my kids, and I just enjoyed it a lot, even though these people were fighting with each other. But the reason I could enjoy it is because I knew in the end, even though they were fighting with each other and bickering a lot, they were all going to stick together. They were all going to be friends, so it was okay, Yeah, when you have real trust, you don't have to walk on eggshells. It's a really awesome thing. God, I hate walking on eggshells. Ugh, what a miserable situation that is. Yes, they should be. Man, that smells good, Jay. That must have been when I was showing my bread. Good luck with having more. Thanks, Josh. Do you eat eggs too? I do eat eggs. I have some right over there. Is that banana bread? Coconut sourdough, yes. Oh my goodness, man. Imagine coconut sourdough pretzels. I don't have to imagine them. I've made them. Yeah. One of the things I often do is, okay, here's this blackened pot, because I cook over a fire, is the popcorn pot. There's actually some in there, right? There's a little bit left, a little bit of popcorn left. I'm going to spill it if I show you. But always in the bottom of the popcorn pot is a bunch of salt, and maybe, well, this time I put some I put the last of my powdered cheese in there. Oh, I gotta get more powdered cheese. Stuff's delicious. Anyway, I always end up with a popcorn pot with like salt and, you know, whatever, sometimes cinnamon or powdered cheese or whatever in the bottom of the pot, or sometimes just salt and popcorn leavings. And I often cook my bread in that. So I'll end up with like a salty top to the bread or the bottom. I mean, I always flip it because I'm cooking it in a pan. And it ends up, you know, kind of delicious, little pretzel-y. Tia, the MFB. Look, I'm 38 and I'm 6'4". I look good, and I'm telling you, these women today are not the kind you bring home to meet your family. Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. Now, it's not all the women, though. It's just hard to find. It's just really hard to find the good people because the bad people are so loud. They're drowning out all the good people. There are good people, I think. I'm pretty sure. Or Kama says to Northern Island boy, how old are you and your wife? Man. They all, TMFB says they all have missions. This is the women. They all have missions. Yeah, you just got to find a woman with the mission to be a good wife, mother, you know. Yeah, that's the hard mission to find. The women who have that mission, they get snatched up, man. They don't last. They're all married, man. I mean, they're not all married. There's a few stragglers out there, I'm sure. Maybe I can snag one up sometime, but we'll see. Anyway. Did you ever, Nathan Lee Animations. Ooh, you make animation? That's cool. Says, Jaimie, yes, Nathan. Did you ever start making compost? Asked about it a while ago. I did start making compost, although I don't have like a special compost spot necessarily. I have a banana circle, which is like a big, it's like a mound of dirt in a big circle, like a donut, like, I don't know, a few meters across, 8 feet across. And that dirt in the mound came from the middle. So I throw stuff in the middle there. That gets composted and feeds the banana trees that are planted in that circle. So that works really well. And then, you know, I just have a few spots in the yard, wherever that I always throw the food stuff, and things grow better there than everywhere else, of course. And sometimes I'll take some of that dirt and put it somewhere else if I'm trying to get something else to grow or whatever. So yeah, I do make compost, but I probably don't have like what you would call a fancy compost operation. Let's see. Northern Island Boy says mid-40s and 30, 15-year difference. I'm older than she is. That could be tough. Yeah. Do you exercise a lot? Exercise a lot. It makes your, you know, anyway. The MFB, men love unconditionally, women love under conditions. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the person. I wouldn't even necessarily say that men are one way and women are another way in terms of that. I think a lot of it is cultural. Because I would say that most people will do whatever, you know, it just comes back to the, if you were in Nazi Germany, you would be a Nazi thing. You know, like most people will do whatever the propaganda is telling them to do. And today the propaganda is like sitcoms, commercials, you know, it's probably mostly sitcoms. Sitcoms is a huge chunk of propaganda, particularly regarding relationships. And, you know, you watch sitcoms, the man is always dumb. They're the husband, you know, the husband and father is always this dumb guy. And the wife is always scolding him and, you know, shaming him for being so stupid. And she's always right. And blah. And that's what we get all the time. It doesn't make sense. But most people just absorb that and become it, you know. Captain Skellabone says, I'd like to know how the concrete mixed with styrofoam that you make insulates. Oh, it insulates really well, actually. Yeah, really well. That's what I would use to build a building if I was going to air condition it. Intentions, then actions, AD. I might be missing some of that. I'm missing some context there. Okay. The MFB says, always, I'm out of here. Oh, anyways, I'm out of here. I love watching your content, Jaimie. Well, thank you very much. I stopped in just to check to see what you were doing. Keep up the good work. What's your adventure build? Wait, what's your adventure builder later, bud? What? I think there was a typo there. Okay, catch you later, man. Mr. Landfill, you're the best. Northern Island Boy says to TMFB, they are not all like that. This is men and women. I recently became a stay-at-home dad, and my wife supports us monthly with her income. She's amazing. That's awesome. I mean, I love to hear about people who are in really good relationships because, partly because it gives me hope, but it also makes me feel like our society has hope, And it was like a month ago or something. I don't even remember where I was talking to this guy, but he was saying that he's a giver, and in a lot of relationships he was just taken advantage of over and over and over because he was always giving and the other person was always taking. But then he met a lady who was also a giver, and when they got together, oh my God, it was amazing. And they're married, and it's just incredible. That sounds awesome. Eric says, thanks, bro. It is like that. True. For me, I'm always trying to help everyone, and it screws me up. I put other people's needs before my own. Codependence, I think. Well, I think it's totally natural to put other people's needs ahead of your own, particularly if you're a man, because we have to take care of people. We have to take care of our family, we take care of our friends, we take care of our extended family. It's kind of a man thing to do, is to take care of people. It's just the way our society is going right now. That is looked down upon. People take advantage of that. They think you're some sissy if you're being kind. It's so backwards. Kindness is not a weakness. It is a strength. And maybe our civilization just has to fall apart before people really realize that, Mr. Yanarobi, what's up? I walk miles to work out. I walk miles to work out stuff. When I make it home, I just eat and crash. That sounds beauty, man. That sounds great. Subzone Pen says, Captain Skellebones, it's thermal conductivity. Styrofoam equals lower conductivity than concrete. Yeah, with the styrofoam in the styrocrete, it insulates really, really well. Thank you, brother. It means a lot, and it helps for me to come on here and just blurt that out. Thank you. No problem, Eric. I'm glad I could be of some kind of help. Oh, that's beauty. Sire Pen Fried. I'm in a beer mile tomorrow. Oh, that's where you drink beer and then run a mile. So 1 mile run with 1 beer at every quarter mile. Oh, okay. 4 beers total. I just ran 1.5 miles. No stopping after not running distance for a while. So I'm excited. Any advice? Just go have fun. That's 100% my advice. Go have fun. Yeah, don't worry about anything else. Just have fun. I guess the carbonation is the biggest problem. Yeah. If you chug 4 beers while you're running a mile, I mean, it's not a long distance or anything, but if you're not in shape for it and you're drinking all those beers, chugging those beers, maybe drink the beers a little slower. You don't have to kill yourself. You're not trying to break a world record or anything. Yeah, have fun, man. Enjoy yourself. Eric says, you're building a community of caring people, Super J. Keep it up. I would love to build a community of caring people in real life. I don't have that in real life. I have a lot of not caring people in my life just because, I don't know, it's hard to find caring people. I have very few caring people in my life. I also have this stupid problem, and this is something I hate about myself, but I grew up around a lot of cruelty, so I am comfortable around that. I can, if it's stupid, I hate this, but if I'm around mean people, I'm fine. It feels fine. If I'm around someone and someone is nice to me, I'm always like, oh no, this is fine. This is good. This is good. This is what I want. This is supposed to be like this, right? Yes, yes. And you know, I've gotten a lot better over the years, but it's still definitely there. You know, yeah. I mean, it is useful at times. Like if I'm on the street, this hasn't happened in a while because I'm not around people that often. But like I've been on the street and people have, you know, tried to start fights with me and tried to intimidate me. And I'm just like, come on, what are you talking about? Just take a hike, man. And then, you know, they see that I'm not remotely scared and then they back off. So then, you know, there is an upside to it. But I know that there are women that I've met in my past who were kind to me, who I just didn't end up connecting with because I didn't know how to process it, you know? I mean, this is way in my past. If I met a woman today who was kind to me, I would be like, oh, this is amazing, great, let's, whatever, you know? Anyway, Subzone Pen says, Sire, interesting, you should say that. I did a beer mile once, and I also have brewed beer. One thing we use in brewing beer is an anti-foaming agent. It's food safe. You could stick your if you really wanted to get rid of the carbonation, you could just shake up your beer or stir it up a lot and then, you know, drink flat beer. But I think you should just do it. Oh, I've never heard of a beer mile, says Eric. Subzone Pen, always wanted to try a few drops of anti-foaming agent to see if it would help with the gas carbonation buildup. Try it. Yeah, it definitely feels like I'm in Nazi Germany sometimes, Eric says. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I'm necessarily Nazi Germany, but I do feel like I'm in this civilization of just complete insanity that most people are just going along with. I've talked about this before. You know, I always feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone as the body snatchers or something. Like that time I found out the Federal Reserve is just some private bank. And I say to people, are you aware that the Federal Reserve is a private bank? Oh, yeah. This is supposed to be like that. I'm like, what? No, it should not be like that. Like, are you even processing the ramifications of what that means? Obviously, yeah, it's so crazy. But yeah, so many things like that. Eric says, definitely, bro. 100 hit the nail on the head with that one. I'm a little behind on comments here. I don't know what you're talking about, but something. Let's see. Relevant Hurt says, you ever hear the dubbed version of Hitler's speech on YouTube? It's very scary. They never dub it or add bad music. They never do. It's wild, man. Listen to it. It's free to do so. So the dubbed version of Hitler's speech on YouTube. Well, I might have to go check it out. Although I imagine it's, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go see. I don't know. Do I want to put myself through that kind of stuff? Anyway. All right, Captain Skellebones, who's 6'4". Can you dunk, Captain Skellebones? I hope you can dunk. People who have open marriage or are a step farther than I have met or a step farther that I have met are always so miserable. Yeah, the happiest people I know in my life are in committed relationships. They trust each other, and that's a huge thing. Like being with someone you can trust. Like, it is so incredibly valuable to have someone you can trust. It's not emphasized nearly enough. Like everyone should know how incredibly valuable it is to have someone in your life that you can trust, like with anything. Orkama says, Jaimie, if you had to describe your ideal women, if I had to describe my ideal women, how many are we talking, or do I just pick? Describe my ideal woman. Well, you're kind of putting me on the spot here, but I'll try to sum it up real quick. Like someone who takes care of her health, is physically healthy, and like no glaring genetic defects or something, because I want to have kids. Someone who wants to have kids. So someone just physically healthy and takes care of her health, exercises, eats well, and all that. And also someone caring and who. This part's tricky because people can be on a lot of different parts on a path, but basically the main part of what I would want in someone, like kind of mentally and spiritually, is someone who is interested in becoming a better person always. And how that manifests itself can be a lot of different ways. But someone who's actually committed to becoming a better person than they are today. Like, they don't think they're perfect. They know they have flaws. They know they'll never be able to get rid of all their flaws. Fine. But they're always trying to become a better person and do the right thing. And, just this general positive attitude. And then, in addition to that, just a generally positive personality too would be really good, because I've often found that, I have a very positive personality, and I sometimes attract women who are not so positive because they like that I have a positive personality, and they think that's just something that automatically happens, and I'll always bring them up and I'll always make them feel better. But then it ends up bringing me down, because they end up weighing down on me with all their negativity, knowing that I'm going to somehow fight it off and make things fun again. Oh man, it gets exhausting. So someone with a positive personality too. And then, nice boobies, favorite food is sausage. I don't know, stuff. What did you just say? Anyway, that's a real big question. There's a lot of range in that kind of answer. You totally put me on the spot too. And I'm sure there's all kinds of things I didn't think about. All right, someone speaking in Russian again. Isn't there a way to auto translate this or something? Mr. Landfill is translating. You're totally having a conversation with this guy in Russian. I don't think you speak Russian, though. His robots do rock. I think that's what he's talking about. Oh my God, Eric, you can speak in Russian too? So true. You guys are having this whole conversation in Russian. I don't know what it is. Here's my translation. LOL. Yeah, man. We all love his robots. We're all technical people here on this channel. Totally, yeah. Oh man, a bunch more Russian. Jaimie has an incredible mind. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll try to live up to that comment as best I can. Eric says, Super J is the most articulate inventor we have on YouTube. I don't know, man. When I talk for over an hour, I start slurring my words and stuff. Anyway, I will accept the compliment. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Or Kama says, at Subzone Pen, isn't the fan blade sort of a flywheel? That is true. The fan blade on a wind-up fan is somewhat of a flywheel. It could be made heavier though, but yeah, it is a bit of a flywheel. And the fan blade, the propeller, that's what it's called. The propeller is actually kind of useful as a flywheel, because if there's any imperfection in the gears, because they're 3D printed, there might be one little spot that kind of has a bit more resistance. Like the fan blade, just the inertia from the fan blade will keep it going past that bad tooth or whatever. I try to file them a little and make sure they're all smooth, but there's some variation. Yeah, anyway. Or comma, sort of, but it's about mass. Yeah, basically what I said. The fan blade is definitely a flywheel, but yeah, it's not that heavy a one. Lois, what's going on? How you doing? Oh, this dating talk reminds me of a quote from Khalil Gibran. Did I say that right? You should not think you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. I don't know, man. That just tells me I'm unworthy. So there's I definitely get what you're saying. Like, and people have given me that kind of advice all my life. Just, it will come when it's meant to come. I have never experienced something that just came to me because it was meant to come. Like, everything good in my life, I have fought for, like, hard. Like, I'm living on an island. I went through significant effort to get here. I built this house that I love being in this house. That was also significant effort, like a lot of effort. And like, I have kids. It was significant effort to get the kids I wanted. I had to deal with someone very difficult and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know. The whole idea that things are just going to work out, I just have not found that to be the case in anything in my life. I'm trying to think if there's something that has just kind of landed in my lap. It just kind of worked out. I mean, like you guys send me donations sometimes, and occasionally there's a donation that's bigger than I'm expecting, and I'm like, whoa, awesome. But still, I did work to get that. Even in those situations, it wasn't just like it just fell in my lap. I can't really think of anything that just kind of worked out. Maybe that means I'm living the wrong life. Maybe I'm fighting against my destiny or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, I mean, based on what that says, you should not think you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Yeah, so that just means I'm not worthy. Okay, maybe I'm not worthy, but like, I'm always trying to be a better person. I don't know that I'm going to become somehow more worthy in my lifetime. Does that mean I'm just not worthy of love? I don't deserve it. I don't get it. That's just not something for me. I don't know. Watch, you know what? Next week, I'm just gonna like trip on a stone and land on some woman, and we're gonna get married and have a beautiful life together. Anyway. Good people via deeds. Yes. Much respect, James. Boar here from South Africa. I hope you're doing well in South Africa, man. Yeah, you know good people by their deeds. Totally true. You can't trust what people say. A lot of people make stuff up, but you watch what people do. That tells you a lot. Blackwater boys, how's it going, Ralphie? Hey, man. Hope you are good and life is treating you well. I actually don't know how life is treating me. I feel like I was just talking about that. I mean, I feel like my life is going pretty well in most areas. But I wouldn't necessarily say life is treating me well. It's going pretty well, though. Oh, Tony Simmons. What's up, Jaimie? You're the best. The best. Oh, the best. Oh, this is the best. Welcome to Jaimie's TED Talk, where shirts are not required and pants are optional. I am wearing pants. I almost did not. Because like it's been raining a lot and most of my clothes are outside at some level of moisture in them. But I was like, man, I better wear pants because, knowing me, I'm going to walk backwards and I'll be naked and get kicked off YouTube. I'm wearing shorts. Anyway, I always make sure I'm wearing shorts. But I feel like if I ever did give a TED Talk, I would have to do it without a shirt. Even if it was cold. But obviously, I'm in the tropics. I don't wear a shirt most of the time. Actually, the only time I wear a shirt is if I'm going out in the sun. That's pretty much it. Or if I'm concerned there might be bugs. Yeah, otherwise I just don't wear a shirt. It's too warm. Eric says, this is the best TED Talks you can have. Talk about the most ridiculous stuff. Yeah. John Smith, well, there's a common name, says, wait, isn't that the name of the guy who started the Mormons? Or no, that was Joseph Smith. Never mind. Yes, at Eric Idesness. Jaimie has been an example of the beat of us for years. Excellent. I imagine all of us tinkerers in our houses with our shirts off, with his video going. We are just guys. Yeah, whenever someone complains that I'm not wearing a shirt, I'm always thinking like, what are the chances the person who said that is wearing a shirt? Or even anything more than underwear? I pretty much always imagine you guys sitting in your chair, chilling, you got your drink, and you got like some snacks, watching the thing, and maybe you got some other stuff going on over here, maybe a 3D printer, and you're just sitting there in your underwear. Maybe you got some socks on if it's a little chilly on the floor. Of course, some people live in cold places. Oh, man. The beast from Jekyll Island. Oh, Eric says we should not be making money off of our debt. That is true. And the stock market should not dictate where our country goes. Yeah, totally, man. Oh, the country should not even be in debt. Debt is not a good thing. Debt is no good. Captain Skellebones, yes, I can dunk. I am 6'3". Oh, I thought you said 6'4" before, but you can dunk. Excellent. I might be able to dunk. I used to be able to dunk, but I haven't tried in quite some time. I do want to set up a basketball thing here at some point. Okay, the dubbed Hitler speech was an AI reconstruction translation in English. I see. Arx Mechanicas, sewing machine repair. What's going on, Mike? How's it doing? Man, I haven't heard from you in a while. Always good to see you. Any robot projects in your future? Well, I got this wind-up fan I'm making, which is not really a robot, but it's kind of robot-y. But I definitely, in my future, unless I die next week or something, but yeah, I definitely want to build some robot-y stuff. I have some plans of stuff I want to do. But I have all this other stuff I need to take care of. Because I grew up in a society that I just chafe against mighty hard, so I had to set up my own little civilization here. So that just takes a lot of time. Captain Skellebones. Men, I'm looking for a normal-looking woman with no glaring mental, physical defects. I know what you're going to say next. Oh, man. Women, I'm looking for a guy in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, you forgot blonde, six-pack. What, he's got this car. He's got actually all the cars. Yeah, it's just... And I think it's cultural. I think that's all being driven by this stupidity. Like, if people were being sensible, women wouldn't be thinking that. Because it doesn't make them happy. It doesn't make you happy to insist on some kind of thing that you're never going to get and never be happy with anything. It's like, whatever. Like, if you're only going to be happy with something that doesn't exist, you're never going to be happy. It's a crazy way to think. But all this propaganda is telling us to think that way. It's so insane. Today in America, men, I need a happy, energetic, loving wife that will help me happily raise my children and grow our lives. Women, what trap house does he work out of? He's a rapper? What? Oh, man. Wendy says, making buying harder to keep themselves making money because they worried we would stop seems silly to me. How about you? Wait, making buying harder to keep themselves making money because they worried we would stop seems silly to me. Oh, the whole everything to do with marketing. Like, everything to do with marketing, I think is so insane and ridiculous. When I worked in the toy industry, I loved like designing something and then refining it and making a prototype and then refining it again and just figuring out all this amazing stuff. But I hated dealing with the business stuff. And I didn't even get that much into the business stuff, but I was definitely somewhat involved. And I saw a lot of just wretched people making horrible decisions that were clearly going to make themselves and everyone around them miserable in the not too distant future. And yeah, just the whole thing is a mess. Although I didn't entirely understand your whole sentence. Making buying harder to keep themselves making money because they worried we would stop. Is it like they made buying harder because they wanted us to want it more? I mean, that's one of those psychological tricks people do. And anyway. Josh Botien says it's really tough to find an individual that can match your energy and be somewhat autonomous and willing to share energy freely. You know, I knew this girl a while ago. She's married now, actually. I don't know if she's happily married. I hope she's happily married. But I knew this girl. She was very pretty, had a lot of energy. There were some issues, though. But anyway, one thing she said to me was, Jaimie, this is so weird. Jaimie, you are a force of nature. It's going to take an amazing woman to be with you. And that was, I don't know if that was just her way of saying it wasn't going to be her, which had already been established at that point, so it was relevant. But yeah, it is hard to meet someone who's going to match with you. Yeah. John Smith says a great woman is genuine, who lives with integrity. She be as scarce as hen's teeth. Do hen ever have teeth? Now I'm wondering, do hen occasionally have teeth? But yeah, I mean, people with integrity today in general are pretty rare. Yeah. Eric says, please, Lord, forgive us our sins, please. Or Lord, please guide and direct us and show us the way, for we are flawed and corrupt. Lord, bless Jaimie and his children's mother. Lord, bring them together. Oh, God, not that crap again. Don't start with the God is going to bring you and the mother of your children together again. Black or Ralphie says, you're very worthy, bro. Well, I don't know if I'm worthy, but we'll see how it goes. Eric says, Lord, please. Oh, God. Eric, you're giving a sermon here. Lord, please bring them together with a conversation of balance, meaning, and love. Lord, show them what they are both doing in the relationship that it's. Okay, are you just. I keep running into Christians who want me to get together with the mother of my children. Let me just tell you right now, without telling you why, it is not going to happen. It will not happen. And if I explained why, you would be like, oh, yeah, I guess that's all done. Yes, it's all done. It is done. Okay. Oh, man. Captain Skellabone says, as soon as I get home from work, I take a shower and put no clothes on until the next day. I live in hot AF, Georgia, GA, Georgia, right? I'm presuming that's the state of Georgia. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, I'm naked a lot of the time. I spend all day sweating, like working on stuff. And then, yeah, a similar thing. Like at the end of the day, I usually jump in the ocean, swim around, and then just float. And I float until I feel like I'm kind of starting to cool off, hopefully, which sometimes doesn't actually happen because the water's pretty warm. And then, yeah, I have a shower, and I'll often have a shower and then stand in front of a fan for like 10 or 15 minutes, or sometimes I'll just lay on the floor with a fan blowing on me just to get my body temperature back down, you know? And then, yeah, clothes, forget it. Neil says, Colonel Kurtz vibes. Who's Colonel Kurtz? Heart of Darkness. I've been a fan since 2010. Love you, man. Best of luck. Colonel Kurtz, Heart of Darkness. Is this a video game or a movie? Colonel Kurtz, I'll have to remember that. I don't know. Mr. Yanarobe says, really hot in Maine lately. Too buggy for no shirt outdoors. That's the worst, eh? Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst, but... one nice thing about being this close to the equator is it never gets that hot. Like, I remember Canadian summers, the days would be like, it'd be like 4 a.m., the sun is up till like 10 at night. And it would sometimes just get so hot in the summer. It doesn't get like that here. It's kind of nice. Where am I? Wait, I'm not even saying it right. or karma. Scenario: you meet this dream woman plus size. No, that she's not plus size. Wait. Or karma. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, scenario. You meet this dream woman plus size. Oh, no, wait, plus more. Sorry, I've been reading this stuff on the screen too long. Okay, let me read this again. I've totally screwed up. You meet this dream woman plus more. Okay, so I meet an amazing woman. She's not plus size. She's plus more. She's spectacularly amazing. However, she dreams of living a metropolitan life in the city. Would you do it? No, because my dream woman would not be interested in living a metropolitan life. Like, that would be, I am revolted by that whole situation, and she would also not be into it. So it's not just a superficial lifestyle difference. No, that's actually a significant personality, like a major decision. You know, that's not something irrelevant. So that would not be a dream woman. My dream woman would not be interested in a metropolitan life in the city. Wendy says, my husband was listening today. Too bad you missed the comment. I made two comments before the one you read because the second part didn't make sense alone. Well, did I miss the comment, or was it not? Did it not show up? I may have missed a comment. I try to read them all. Too bad you missed the comment. I made two comments before the one you read because the second part didn't make sense alone. Crap. I'm not going to scroll up. Wait, can I scroll up and find it? Wendy. Okay. Yeah, I think Wendy, if making buying harder to keep themselves, okay, yeah, that totally sounds like the end of a sentence. But I think maybe the first part of what you said did not show up because I can't see it. YouTube has this weird thing where it censors. So I don't know, maybe you had one of the keywords that censors. I don't do it. YouTube just kind of auto does this. So I did not see the beginning, the first part of that comment. Unfortunately, it's not showing up, and I just went and checked. Josh says, it's really tough to find an individual that can match your energy and be somewhat autonomous. Wait, I already read that. No, I'm past here. Okay. God. Okay, Arcs Mechanica says, I love creating robots. I hate dealing with the people who want to offer me money for my projects. They never understand why I'm doing it. They always want to screw it up. 100%. Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. That's why I got out of the toy industry, you know. It was just there was so much I wanted to do there, and there were so many ways it was going to be twisted into the wrong thing. Anyway, Eric says, no, it's just a prayer. It's just a prayer. Haha. No. You don't have to get together. I just want you guys to find balance. Oh, yeah. Apocalypse Now? Are you talking about the movie, Neil? Apocalypse Now? Is there an apocalypse going on right now and I don't know because I'm doing this? Should I check the news? Okay, Eric says, you don't have to be a Christian to pray. In fact, I know. In fact, I have all kinds of videos, and I'm a #1 commentator on a few Iranian stations, and some of my best friends are Hindu. It's just love. Well, I was talking specifically about just a lot of Christians I've met have really put a lot of pressure on me to get back together with the mother of my children. And they say things like, you just need to go on a date. When's the last time you went on a date? If you go on a date, that'll fix it. I'm just like, what? No. I had a girlfriend that I broke up with once, and we were still friends, and we hung out and did stuff together. And she tried that. She thought, maybe if we just go on a date, it'll rekindle blah, 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 and then spark things, and it'll be all like, yay, happy and roses again. And I was just like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. But she kept pushing, and I was like, all right, fine, let's go on this date. She's like, well, we'll split the cost. We'll each pay half. So I spent an evening wasting a bunch of money, spending time with someone on a date that I didn't even want to go on a date with, being in some weird, creepy restaurant where everything was just, the whole thing was just like, if anything, it turned me off more, you know? Anyway. Like, yeah. Okay, anyway, let's move on here. Oh, Rolfie says, peace, y'all. Best to you, Jaimie, and your kids too. Amazing. Thank you very much. Very much. Wendy says the Federal Reserve. I don't even wait. Federal Reserve lockdown raised interest rates. Okay, I don't know. I need more information there to respond. Bosco Zuzu says King Solomon had 700 wives. I'm sure Jaimie can find one or two. 700 wives. I don't think that really makes sense. Yeah, I'm just thinking that's too many. You can't even get to know them. Isn't it like you have space in your brain for like 150 people or something like that, and after that it's just all what's the word? It's like when there are people who are incidental in your lives, casual interactions. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm starting to run out of words now. I've been talking too long. Okay, or Karma says, fair enough, makes sense about the city. Hadn't thought about it like that. She can't be a dream woman if she has that trait. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess if I was talking about a dream woman, it's like I'd have to get it a little bit into more specifics. Like she would have to be adventurous and not want to be confined in some society that locks you down, which is how I feel about cities. You know, it's like when you live in a city, there are just so many rules. I mean, I couldn't do most of the things I do here in a city. I would just be fined and fined and fined. Every other day I'd be fined or thrown in jail, or, you know, it would be ridiculous. Anyway. The other thing is, like, I feel like if I'm going to be with my dream woman, she's not going to want me to follow her into some life that I don't want anyway. Like, she's going to want to join me, preferably like the life I'm doing now. I've spent a lot of time making this place awesome, and I'm still working on making it awesome. But like, yeah, I don't imagine any kind of woman that I would want me to just follow her around like a lost little puppy. Like, oh, you want to live in the city? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I get where you're coming from. There are plenty of things, like concessions I would make. Anyway. Wendy said, what was the offending word test? Or I think you meant that was. Okay, so Wendy, the words I saw that did not get flagged or blocked are Federal Reserve, lockdown, and raised interest rates. I don't know if you wrote anything other than that, but those all showed up. Eric says, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry that triggered that feeling from you, but you know I'm going through some difficult things, and you actually almost said I'm praying for you, but I know what you mean. Oh, Eric, don't worry about it, man. No, you're not triggering any feelings. Everything is fine. Yeah. What did I say? This is what I was saying. Oh, yeah. When I was talking about Christians who have, done things, I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all. I'm just, don't worry. Everything's totally fine. It's totally fine. And I do appreciate your sentiments. So, yeah, please, if I may have expressed myself wrongly, I do appreciate the positive wishes. And I don't mean anything against you. And I'm totally not offended by you. Everything is totally cool. Philippe Tyson says, can I come near your island? Oh, with a sailboat. It's 53 feet and need a 6 feet water depth. Yeah, you can totally get in here. You have to pay attention because there are some shallows. But yeah, you can get a boat in here, a sailboat. Definitely. Yeah, I've known people who parked sailboats close by. Are you coming to visit? Email me. Let me know. I'm with you, Jaimie. Don't go back to something that isn't the way you want or need. OKC 306. Hello, my old friend. Who is that? Who is my old friend? You didn't give me any context besides my old friend. Hello, my old friend. Well, hello. Hello, my old friend. I hope you're doing well. I don't know who you are, but I hope everything's going well. Captain Skellabone says, I don't have space in my brain for anybody. I just want to live in a fallout bunker and browse the internet, anonymously. Oh, yeah, if only I could be satisfied with such a thing. Oh, Neil, okay, was talking about Apocalypse Now is a movie based on the novel Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Right. I totally did know that. And wait, who was the guy that we were referring to in that earlier? I don't remember now. I totally forgot. Do It Martins says, James, I found you building a dome with clay as a model. Yeah. You swung a rope. I told my wife, I know you from the Congo. I have no idea what she is saying. We don't speak a common language. Asia. Cool, man. John Smith says 38 degrees Celsius. Oh, God, that's brutal. 38 degrees Celsius here on the east coast of Canada. Just breathing is gross. Oh, to do much more than breathing is too much to ask. Yeah, I remember one year in the summer, I was landscaping and I was carrying bricks back and forth. I don't even remember. We were doing some walkway, me and this other guy, and we were just sweating like pigs. And the guy had a swimming pool in the backyard, and we were like making this walkway like through behind around the swimming pool. And I just kept being like, man, I really want to jump in that water, but we didn't ask if it was okay. And the guy's like, oh God, I know what you mean. Oh, that was brutal. Anyway, we worked long days. We worked 15 hours and then 14 hours to get that job finished. Neil, thank you very much, man. Neil sent me $2. That's great. Or Karma sent me some too. 2 pounds, which is more than $2. Oh, thanks, man. That's totally awesome. Okie Bear says, howdy. Wendy says the banned word was inflation. All right, apparently, if you type a comment with the word inflation, it will be blocked, and I will not be able to read it. Where do they get this stuff from? I mean, I know where they get this stuff from, but like, it's the worst kind of propaganda. Just censor all the words you don't like out so people can only talk about what you want. It's so insane. Captain Skellabone says it was 41 degrees Celsius here just the other day, and I just chilling. I am a reptilian. I can actually deal with the heat if I don't do anything for a few days and like just relax, which I don't do very often. It's a rare situation for me to do that. But on a few occasions, I've just been like, all right, I want to take a few days to just kind of reset and do nothing. And then my body temperature does come down. But yeah, most of the time I'm always hot. Our Karma, if you had to eat the same sandwich for the rest of your life, what would it be? You can eat other things, but if it's a sandwich, it has to be this. Oh man, I don't know. It would be one mighty tasty sandwich though. I'd probably go with the coconut sourdough focaccia. Can I do that? Coconut sourdough focaccia bread, and then in there I'd have like some bacon, but not too crispy. Like I don't want it to be like like fried to the point where it's going to give me cancer, you know. Maybe not bacon. No, let's switch that for like back bacon, like some ham. Yeah, some nice ham, and then some lettuce and tomato, and maybe mustard on one end, like some spicy mustard, and a bit of mayo on the other side. Oh, something like that. Oh, and an egg. Two eggs in there too. Yeah, and maybe we need to mix the animals. Maybe also some chicken salad, just right in there between the tomato and the lettuce. Yeah, some chicken salad, some ham, lettuce, tomato. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a good sandwich right there. Where are you getting these questions from? Wendy said, you know what? This, for some reason, I've just remembered a sandwich I made with one of my friends many, many years ago. This friend and I would often kind of eat weird things. Because we would often get into crazy projects where we'd work really long hours, and then like we'd be so tired and so hungry. You know, when you get to that point of like you're just insanely tired and insanely hungry, and you're just like, I just want calories. What has the most calories? The most blah blah. So like one day he showed up at my house. He knocked on the door. I opened it. He's standing there with 2 gallons of whole milk, and he's like, "You got that strawberry quick?" Because he knew I had a thing of strawberry quick. This stuff is gross. I don't get it anymore. But I'm like, yeah. And then we drank a gallon of milk each, full of, you know, just sugar and food coloring. But anyway, there's one time we were at his house after we'd been working on a bunch of stuff at his house, whatever. We're tired and hungry. And we were going to go out to get food, but we were so tired. We were like, well, is there just some food here? So he pulls out everything he's got, and we're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We'll take these 2 cans of Spam, cut them into slices, and those will be the bread. And then we'll take that tomato, cut into slices, and that will be the middle of the sandwich. So we ate these sandwiches. It was just like a block of ham, a tomato, and another block of ham. And that was it. Those are amazing. But you kind of need to be really hungry to do that, you know? Oh, another sandwich that I've really, oh man, I'm going way off on a tangent about sandwiches here. But another sandwich that I have thoroughly enjoyed that I haven't made in a while is a piece of bread, peanut butter, and then a pizza. And I started eating that many years ago when I was doing a lot of work, and you know, I was just trying to pack as many calories as I could into a meal so I wasn't losing weight, so I could keep doing things. And yeah, I had pizza, and I was like, this doesn't have enough calories. I eat this, like I eat 2 pizzas in a row, and I feel like I didn't eat anything. So yeah, I put a big slob of peanut butter on a piece of bread, and I put a chunk of pizza on top. Oh, yeah, it was great. High calorie. All right. Wait, where are we? Wendy says, except you could read the word if you capitalize it. I'll try it again, lowercase. Inflation. I can read inflation. You know what, Wendy? I think this is AI. I think AI is censoring based on what it thinks your evil context is. You know, by evil, I mean what the man doesn't want you to say. It's got to be AI picking on the context. I don't know. Captain Skellabone says a sandwich with everything on it, and I pick off the ingredients I don't want each time I eat it. Get wrecked. No, you can't do that, Captain Skellabones. That's totally cheating. You got to eat the whole sandwich, not be wasteful. Maybe, I don't know. That's the way I was approaching this situation anyway. Or Karma says in England, we call that a chicken club sandwich. Very good stuff. Oh, a chicken club sandwich. That sounds amazing. Russian guy says, are you working and where? Do you mean like, do I have a job for money? Believe it or not, making YouTube videos is kind of my job, and I do not make much money doing it. However, my living expenses are very low. So, you know, I don't have any rent. I don't have a water bill or electric bill. The only bill I have is the internet. And then I also buy food. Other than that, I have no bills. So I can get by on a very small amount of money, which is why I'm able to make videos that I want to make as opposed to, things that will just get a lot of views and get a lot of money. And it's also the reason I can do this instead of, getting a real job. But occasionally I do, work for other people. I haven't done anything in a while, but I don't know, a couple of years ago, I had a friend who was building a dock, and he's like, "Hey man, can you help me out?" And I ended up actually doing that for free. And he gave me some bananas, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I shouldn't mention that one because I didn't get paid for it. But yeah, I mean, I've done stuff like that for money here and there. Yeah, you must be hungry, Sandwich Tangent. I am hungry. I already had dinner, but I'm gonna have to. You know what? I have some cheese, and I have some bread, and I have some spinach, and I have some mustard. I think I'm gonna make a cheese sandwich. It's not gonna be as good as the sandwich I described, but devious peanut butter pizza. Oh yes, peanut butter pizza is amazing. What about the triple sun and wait? What about triple sun and pedal power boat? What about the triple sun and pedal power boat? What about it? I mean, it's outside. I don't know. I love that boat. It's amazing. It's super good. I love it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. There may be a translation issue here. Do it, Martens. Do it. Says, cheers, James. I have to ride motorbike now to help my wife deliver paper flowers, her new business, and I must be supportive. Dude, that's awesome. She started a business and you get to help out? That sounds so fun. Man, what a great adventure. Go do it, man. Go give her a big hug and a kiss, too. Yes, be very supportive. That's awesome. I love hearing about relationships where people are supportive of each other's ideas. That's great. I'm so glad you don't know what inflation is in the censored context. Are you talking about inflation as in a lot of money being printed out and then the value of it going down? Is that the inflation you're talking about? Because I didn't know what that is. I agree that it is the whole sandwich and not the pickles or tomato that YouTube is censoring. Yes, I think it's the sandwich. Yeah, exactly. I think they're censoring the sandwich, not just the pickles or the tomatoes. It's troublemakers. I have a feeling I used the wrong sandwich ingredients for this conversation. Yeah, maybe you have to get code words. But if you just start talking in sandwich language, I'll have no idea what you're talking about right now. Oh man, now I'm all annoyed that I missed the beginning of your sentence. Anyway, maybe you can type it all in capitals. Oh man, Captain Skellabone says no. The inflation that would be censored is not referring to the economy. Don't look it up. Okay, I'm going to take your word for it that I do not want to look up the inflation that is being censored. I'm just going to take your word for that. You're sitting at home and a portal opens in front of you. 5 strange beings appear from the mist. Wait. So there's a portal that has appeared in front of me, and 5 strange beings are appearing from some mist. Is the mist coming out of the portal, or 5 strange beings coming from somewhere over here? And there's also a portal. Anyway, they take you into their realm and explain that the human race is being judged and you have been selected. Okay, I feel like there's going to be more to this question. Oh, to choose 5 people from history to represent the human race. Who? Geez, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would have to think about that. 5 people from history to represent the human race. They would not be famous. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. You know what I'd say? Can you guys just send a few Gorts and, they'll take care of business? For anyone who doesn't know what Gort is, in the movie, it's an old sci-fi movie, which was redone horribly, but the original was pretty cool. It's black and white. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Gort was a robot that was sort of like the ultimate police. And in the civilization out in the galaxy, there were these robots. And if anyone got out of line, anyone started any fights or something, they would just take care of it. So when this visitor came to Earth, the military responded, and Gort melted all their stuff, melted their tanks and their guns, and just be like, nope, none of that. And then, the alien explained, the alien who looked exactly like a human, explained that, yeah, you don't want to do that. We've achieved peace by having these robots who are basically invincible. They will stop you from doing bad things. Although there is a problem with that whole premise, which is that morality, once it's forced, is no longer morality. So what if those Gort robots were gone? Then all the people would just resort right back to horribleness, right? They may even be evolving to become more evil because they cannot act on it and they're not being weeded out. So anyway. Oh, man. Hi, Jaimie. This is Bug Zapper's Ed. Did you get the gift I sent? Hope so. Have fun. Well, anything you send will take like a month to get here. So no, I haven't gotten it yet. But should be here probably on the next container. I think there's one that's going to be here soon. So it won't be on that one. It'll be on the next one. I'd choose Jaimie actually as an ambassador of humanity. Oh, you might want to be careful. Yeah, I don't know who it would be hard to choose someone to be representatives of humanity. Like, I don't know. I hope that 5 aliens don't ask me that question, because I'll be like, I feel like you guys should have a better question for me. Because I don't know. How am I supposed to pick 5 people to represent us? Because there's a pretty big range. There's like 8 billion people. And they range from like all the way over here to all the way over there. And there's all these differences and stuff. And humanity in general, I don't think you can sum it up. There are different paths of humanity. And maybe at some point, a lot of those paths will be, due to evolutionary pressure, will be removed, and the better paths will prevail. I don't know. We'll see. Eric says, "Oh wait, I'm like your video subscriber." Well, thank you from Russia, with love. I appreciate it. Very good. Eric says, "Yes, Gorks. I thought they were Gorts, but you typed Gorks. I don't know. I think that's where they came up with the name Dorks later on." Eric says, "I remember that I was just watching it the other day. The black and white. Ah, yes. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Yes. God bless you, James. Cheers." Do it, Martin says. Okay, Eric says, "It's almost like Doctor Who. Exterminate. Yeah." Yeah, I like the old Doctor Who way more than the new one. I grew up with, what was it? Tom Baker, Doctor Who. He's kind of still my favorite one, probably. Let's see. Do-it-yourself specialist says, "God gives free will, that is love, freedom to choose the right path or your own path." Okay. Eric says, "Chrome more than likely." Am I missing? Okay, let me see if I can understand this. Chrome more than likely. Is this a continuation of a previous sentence? Okay, Chrome more than likely, it's the Nephilim that built the spaceships. And more than likely, we know each other because we've probably been aboard the mothership together. We just don't remember. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, not Chrome. What? How do you spell check? Constantly ruin everything. Okay, that's why I couldn't understand what you're saying. Spell censor. I call it spell censor. It tries to tell me what I'm saying. Do you mind me asking, where do you live? I live off the coast of Panama in the Caribbean Ocean. Eric says, forget it. All right, I'm going to grow more than likely. Yeah, I don't know. Captain Skellebones, I can't think off the top of my head of 5 decent humans. So I would pick 5 horrible monsters people and have the aliens rightfully judge us as the animals we are. Eric says, the spaceships are real, and I think we all know each other somehow. More than likely, the mothership picked us all up, and we flew to a galaxy together, and then dropped us back off with no memory. It's funny that you would fly to a galaxy. Because, like, wouldn't you want to go to a specific planet and even a specific spot on a planet or something like that? But just going to a galaxy would just be like, wow, there's a big circle here swirling around. It's a galaxy's it's a big destination, man. If you like Tom Baker, you might like him in the Silver Chair movie. It's on YouTube, part of the Chronicles of Narnia. Oh, really? I'm gonna have to check that out. How do you get your internet? There's an antenna on my, well, not on my roof. It's like in the little cupola that's up there, and it aims out at another house. That house also has an antenna to bounce the signal back and forth. And there's also an antenna on that house that aims like 15 miles away at this tower that just luckily has line of sight. Just something to do, Eric says. It's the mother galaxy. I don't know. All right. I've been yammering on for like an hour here. I think it's time for me to get out of here. And all right, I love your stories, guys. Okay. I hope everyone has a good night or morning or evening. I hope it's not too hot or cold wherever you are. And I'm not going to look up this inflation thing that you told. Why am I remembering that? All right, I'm not going to look it up. All right, I'm getting out of here.